here's something. This is one of those things. My grandmother refused to cook with garlic. She said only low-class Italians use garlic. I don't know where she got that. How much lower class could you get? She was Sicilian. Just kidding, gang. I always tell people I'm half Italian and half Sicilian. This is the kind of stuff that they want the close-up of on the TV set. It doesn't always work out because sometimes the garlic slips out. But today we got lucky. I learned this from Jacques Pépin because I watch cooking on TV too, you know. And once I learned how to do it, I do it just to put on toast in the morning, you know. I mean, it's such a great thing to have. It's garlic paste. Good for you. You get so much more flavor out of the garlic. See, it's completely paste. It goes in there. Now we're going to have the. How much lemon does the recipe say?
You want this, Robert?
Juice of one. But in this case, I am going to put the juice into a bowl so I can get rid of the pits. Because the pits are the pits. 3 pits. Add a tablespoon of white wine vinegar, which again is an acid component to this. This was my favorite part because we loved fennel as kids. We used to have it as a sort of like a pre-dessert. We would have our meal, our pasta, then we would have chicken or whatever we were having as a main course. And then they would bring out bowls of just fennel leaves. When you're preparing it, you can just cut one end and then the other end, but we would sit there and we would just gnaw on these and have a little fennel flavor. And it was great. Don't throw this stuff away. It's great to put in soups and whatnot. It's great flavoring. Cut this in half. And I'm gonna cut this as thin as possible. We don't have an overhead, do we? Huh? You know, when we work in the kitchen, in the studio, we have this big overhead. And as soon as I go to work on the board, I see the camera that's on the thing in the monitor, and I know that they're catching my every chance to cut my finger. Now, if you have one of those mandolins, you could use that to slice this as thin as possible, but I hate to dirty all those things in the kitchen, so I just take my chances. But you do want it nice and thin. That's going to add great texture and great flavor to this salad. Parsley is a little ornery sometimes to cut. I don't know why. Now you can make this as fine or as large as you like. I like to see where the parsley is, so I'm just going to put it in this way. And here's the thing about parsley. Parsley, you know, you think it's just for color. It's not. Parsley exaggerates the flavors that it's next to. That's what it does. That's its real job. It's an oxidizer, as I call it. All right, now I'm going to put in just a little red pepper flakes, pepperoncini. I had a chance to cook with Lydia Bastianich a couple of times at our station, and she was a good friend. She actually became a board member of WQED, and she puts pepperoncini in like ice cream. She puts it in everything. So keep a bottle of this around. That's in honor of Lydia Bastianich. We're putting that in there. Make sure that's all put together. A little salt and pepper, I think. Actually, I'm not going to put the salt in because I put the salt in with the garlic. So I'm just gonna sprinkle. And I don't need much of this because I have the red pepper flakes in there. And this is the mixture for the fish salad. So they have this already prepared. They have mussels in here, and we have squid. And shrimp. And my grandson's favorite part,
Oh yeah.
the tentacles. I also love mussels, by the way. I mean, I like them just steamed and with a nice sauce, a lot of bread. At my house, I have to admit, we usually have the feast of the two fishes. Kids are never that interested in the seafood, you know, when they're little, and my wife Laura just likes shrimp, and that's it. So I would make some bacalao for myself, and then I would make shrimp and pasta for everybody else, and the kids would just not put the shrimp on their pasta. So I made three. All right, now I'm going to get this all mixed together. And I would let this marinate for at least an hour. I put it in the fridge, cover it up, just let it sit there, because the seafood will actually take in the flavors of your sauce and, you know, the spices and all of that. It's almost not ready to eat at this point. You really need it to cook in the fridge. Some of you have already had a taste of this, and I think they're gonna get around to everybody. Oh, there they are. They're passing this out. One of the things that I really like to add to this are some bay scallops. Those go really well. Just boil them for a couple of minutes. Don't overdo it. Just until they're cooked through, and they add a tremendous texture and flavor to this. I mean, this doesn't have any of the squid circles, but you can buy them here clean, just the circles, and it adds so much to the salad by the look of it and the flavor of it and so on. So that's another good thing to add. We have a summer house on Long Island, on a little inlet in Long Island. It's called, it was near Lynbrook, Long Island, if anybody knows where that is. Anyway, there was a little bit of sand that in front of our little bungalow, and there were clam beds right there. And my grandmother would say, she'd say, Christy, go out and get me a dozen clams. So I would just walk out, and I would say, do you want the big ones? You want the little ones? And I would just feel with my feet until I could sense that there was something under the sand. I would reach in and see what size it was. It wasn't good, I put it back down and stepped on it, put it back in the sand. These little necks are the perfect size because they come nice and tender when you cook them. And what she would do is just steam them. Well, first of all, she would wash them. She would wash them like crazy. She had a brush that she used just for the clams. You lifted them out of the bowl on the top, you'd see little sand in the bottom, and it wasn't from not being washed. It wasn't from the outside. It was from the inside. And I don't know how she knew that they had swallowed sand, but there she was, you know. With a little bit of water, and steam them until they opened. And then it was our job as kids to separate the haves from the have-nots. Boy, these are nice clams. Almost as good as the ones from Oceanside. And this recipe calls for exactly 2 cups of breadcrumbs. 1, 2. Some Oh, the lemon juice, yes. It says a cup of lemon juice, but that is a lot. I think if you just say 2 lemons, that'll be fine. And now I'm going to use the Italian strainer method. Rather than doing it into a separate bowl. And this way your hand is marinated for later. If you bite your nails, it'll be delicious. And they have garlic on them. Oh man, these fingers just tasty as all get out. And then I'm going to, what else do we have to add here? Oh, just some flavoring, some olive oil and oregano and pepper. Olive oil we have right here. Exactly 3 tablespoons. And salt. I have to be careful with this because it's a gigantic opening. And I think pepper goes a long way.
You do all your cooking at home every night?
Oh yeah. And except for having LOs,
That means
leftovers.
that's all got your cheese, right?
Yes, that's a Romano cheese.
That's good.
Romano Reggiano cheese, huh?
I'm not going to read the ingredients. No, actually, the first ingredient on here is Romano cheese. So that's better than when the first ingredient. It actually comes together. See? Okay. And now we're just going to take our clams that we prepared, the halves and the have-nots, and get a good scoop in there. A couple of tablespoons. Because it's not all about the clam, it's all about the stuffing. At least when we used to eat them, that's the way I felt. Now sometimes Graham would put a sprinkle of lemon juice and olive oil right on the top of these before she put them in the oven to bake.
Chris, was that Romano cheese too?
Yes, it was. I very rarely use Parmigiano Reggiano. There are some recipes that call for it and you can't get away from it, but I would say I use 5 times more Romano cheese than I do the Parmigiano Reggiano.
Why do you like that more?
It's sharper. Well, there's a big difference in terms of its product. Romano cheese is sheep's milk cheese. Okay? It's very tangy, tart, sharp. Parmigiano Reggiano is a cow's milk cheese. So it has a deep, rich cheese flavor, but it's also sort of nutty and soft. So it goes very differently on different dishes. So now you get the idea. And what we're going to do then is put these in a baking dish, pour the reserved juice over the top, a little bit of olive oil. Yes, sir?
How long do clams keep?
That's a better question for you, Sam. I only buy them when I'm going to cook them within a day or two.
Okay.
So, but I have known my Graham to put them in the fridge and let's just let them sit in a bowl for a couple of days.